The soil in Scotland has been changing for thousands of years, from the earliest glacial valleys to deep prehistoric forests, all the way to recent industrial development, tourism, city parkland and modern agriculture. Soil is crucial to our future too. It's a dynamic environment that stores and releases nutrients. It exchanges water and chemicals with the air and its surroundings, and it provides the vital fuel that many farm crops need to grow. In Scotland, soil stores huge amounts of carbon, twice the amount that's stored in vegetation, and it could store even more if managed correctly. It can take 100 years to create just 1 centimetre of soil, but only one bad flood to remove much more than that. The importance of soil for our future can't be overlooked. Some farming practices can greatly improve our soil, while others can damage it. So we need to be mindful of our actions if we want to preserve soil for future generations. Let's take a closer look. Plant roots and soil microbes move through the soil, leaving trails of organic material that bind smaller particles into clusters. Over time, and with good management, the soil can develop a strong crumb-like structure, which is good for productivity, drainage, and reducing erosion. Good quality soil is dark, rich, and smells earthy. It's full of organic matter and has lots of worms. Poorly managed soils suffer more from erosion. Nutrients that should have stayed in the soil are lost, and without this nourishment, fewer crops are produced. Poor quality soil can be pale, gritty and sandy, crumbly or hard. It's low in organic matter and living organisms. For farmers, the first step is to learn about the biological quality of the soil on their land. In Scotland, accurate maps of soil type and land suitability are freely available. These can help you make the best decisions for improving soil health and making it more resilient to climate change. If you know how much carbon you already have in your soil, then you'll be able to decide which management option gives you the most economically profitable combination of soil carbon storage and crop production. Most soils in Scotland are quite sandy and freely draining, but in places where it is finer textured, compaction can be a problem. Compaction tends to occur in places where machinery frequently passes or livestock gathers, such as in the corners of fields, around gates and near feeding stations. These areas often have puddles that don't drain properly, or poor seedling emergence and crop growth. It is important to avoid soil compaction by improving drainage where necessary. Good soil structure can be achieved by appropriate tillage and crop rotation, which allows time for the soil to rest. Using cover crops or perennial vegetation keeps carbon trapped in the topsoil and stops it from drying out in hot, dry weather, and from being washed away in wet weather, and can also reduce fertiliser costs. The timing and method of ploughing can have a significant effect on our soils and carbon stocks. For instance, following the natural contours of a field can greatly reduce erosion and runoff. Grassland in Scotland already stores lots of carbon because the land is permanently covered in vegetation and ploughed only occasionally. Measuring the pH, texture and density will give you a good understanding of grassland's soil condition and help you decide on the best livestock management strategy on your grazing land. It is important to keep the soil moist and teeming with living organisms by avoiding overdraining and overgrazing. This also helps reduce erosion and compaction and creates the best conditions for a mixture of forage plant species. Most of the soil carbon in Scotland is stored in peat. However, over 80% of our peat is degraded, and instead of storing more and more carbon, it is releasing it into the air and water. Identifying peat on farmland is a crucial first step in its protection. Once peat has been identified, it's important to avoid draining it, as peat needs the water table to be kept close to the surface of the soil. Planting trees on peat should also be avoided, as this causes it to dry out. Instead of using peat soils for traditional agricultural practices, farmers should explore options for restoration and maintenance to avoid causing further damage to this valuable resource. Working together, we can reduce the pressures on land and take action to restore soils while maintaining farm productivity. We're proud to celebrate the vital contribution farmers make to combating climate change. We hope you are too. Find out more about soil and how you can help by getting in touch with us or our partners. We'll be happy to guide you through the process.